place where I'm able to do it. So we're going to go into what happened to my sister tonight. But before we do, I just want to remind you that I do have a Patreon down below where I talk about more personal things in my life. And you get to pick what kind of videos you want to see from me there. And when you sign up, you get access to over 50, yes, 50 ASMR videos I have done that are not seen anywhere else. They've never been here or anywhere else. So you're going to have a ton of videos to binge, and just $5 per month. $5 a month. And I do extra videos every single month over there. So that's just an option for you if you would like extra content from me. But for tonight, we are going to talk about my sister and what happened to her and why she is where she is. So if you don't know my sister, I have a big sister and a big brother. I am the youngest of 3, and then I have a stepsister and a stepbrother that are younger than me. But my blood sister and brother are older. My sister is the oldest, my brother's the middle, and I'm the baby. My brother lives out of state, and my sister lives here. My brother lives where I will be moving, and hopefully where we will be moving my sister to as well. So my sister is kind of like a cat. She has had many experiences where she probably should not have lived. And she got lucky a lot of times, but this last time, so, my sister, just a kind of little bit of a background, she grew up here, moved to New Orleans, and moved back, and she did not have any children or anything. It was just her and her fiance. And a couple years ago, my sister and her fiance ended up having a fire in their apartment, and my sister had to jump from a 3rd-story window, and she broke a couple bones and broke her ribs and was really banged up, but she got out. She didn't have any burns or anything, and she got extremely lucky. But they lost everything, and their 2 beloved cats died in that fire. And it was really hard on her. Really hard on her. And then she ended up, a couple years later, she ended up having some health condition where she had issues with her pancreas, and it ended up essentially almost inflaming in her body, and they had to do immediate emergency surgery, and during that surgery there were complications, and she had to go into a coma, and all of her organs were shutting down, and she was in that coma for 2 months, and they ended up bringing in the family, and they told us she wasn't going to make it, and told us to say our final goodbyes. And then we got a call from the doctor saying that there was a surgery, but the chances of her making it were like 5%. Like, they were so low. Nobody had much hope. They said she was the sickest person in the entire hospital of thousands of people. And a bunch of the doctors were just refusing to do the surgery. And finally we found a doctor that agreed to do it. And he made a promise to my mom and dad that he would do everything he could to save my sister. And they ended up doing the surgery, and she lived. It was such a herself again and all that stuff. In those two situations, she was very blessed to have made it out of alive. So, almost 2 years ago now, my sister, well, let me just say, she lost her fiance. Her fiance passed away. He had a heart attack and passed away. And he was very young. And that was really hard on my sister. Really hard. She was lost. And one of the last posts that she made on Facebook was that she was lost. She didn't know how to live without him. So, yeah, she just wasn't herself. But she ended up having a friend over about 2 months after he passed away, maybe a little longer. I don't really know the exact timeline, but she had a friend come over and do dinner. So her and her friend, decide to do dinner, and they're drinking a little bit, enjoying themselves, and they decide to cook pasta. So she gets the water boiling to make the pasta, and I guess her friend handed her the pasta water, and it's boiling hot, right? And she ended up slipping. I guess a little bit of water fell on the floor or something, and she ended up slipping. And when she slipped, she fell backwards, and the entire thing of water splashed and spilled on her. And she essentially had burns all over her body because it was scalding hot, boiling water. And they brought her into the hospital. She had to have immediate emergency surgery. They took skin grafts from the back of her legs and put it over the burns. And she made it out of surgery. She was healing. 2 days after surgery, she I guess, we went to go visit her, and she was happy. She was eating, laughing. And then that night, when she went to sleep, for some reason, there were complications, and her lungs started to fill with fluid, and they had to put her into an induced coma, because, she was having a lot of complications. And an induced coma is where it's like a medically induced coma. So they give you medication to put you into a coma so that they can work on your body. And while she was in this coma, she got a blood clot in her arm. And it ended up going to her brain. And you get blood clots from not moving around and being in one space for a very long time. Excuse me. She facility, and we have not been able to see her. I have not been able to see her in months due to COVID. Either has my mom. My mom's seen her once in 7 months. And my parents are just going through a really hard time. We all are, but my mom and dad, I feel so bad for them. But her memory has come back a little bit, which I am extremely grateful for, because originally when this happened, she didn't know who I was, and that was hard. She knew who my mom and dad were, but she didn't know who I was, and she didn't know who anybody else was. But still, she's lost so much of her memory, and she has a lot of brain damage now, so she can't really talk, only a few words. It's hard for her to communicate. She can't do a lot of things on her own, and it's just very hard. In a sense, we are blessed to still have her, but hearing her cry on the phone when we call, and not being able to go there, not being able to help her, not being able to say it's gonna get better, it's just awful, you know. But I am grateful that I'm able to talk to her on the phone, and twice a week I go up and bring her favorite things, like coffee and donuts and goodies and socks and DVDs, new movies to watch and things like that. I can't see her, but I can at least drop the stuff off to her, and I know she's gonna get it. Hopefully things get better soon so that we can at least visit, because I miss my sister so much. And I know that my mom does, my dad as well. But before all this, my sister was extremely talented and artistic. If I can, I will try and post some of the photos here on the screen of some artwork that she's done. I'll try and get some pictures. But she's an extremely talented artist, and she did a lot of volunteer work with, people who were in psychiatric wards, and just a really good person at heart, and very independent. Loved David Bowie and Madonna. Very beautiful person inside and out. Loved animals, such an animal lover. She had a cat. Kitty cat. She had a kitty cat. She had a kitty cat named Baba, and he was a Siamese cat. And when all this happened, she had an apartment, she had a cat, she had all these things, so my mom ended up having to, get the apartment taken care of and put her stuff in storage, and all of that stuff. And my mom ended up taking the cat, and the cat died about a month or two after my sister was in the hospital. And he probably died of a broken heart, because my sister had him for so many years, and he was old, right? But he wasn't sick. It's just sad. She lost her fiance, then this happened to her, and then her cat passed away. But we haven't been able to tell her. We won't tell her about the cat, because we don't want to upset her. At first she didn't remember anything about the cat, but then she started talking about her cat as of recent. So, it's the little things that we try and appreciate to keep us going, because if not, So yeah, that is the story of what happened to my sister. Very freak accident, and she's had a lot of unfortunate situations happen to her. Her life hasn't been the easiest, to say the least. That's not even all of it. There's definitely more stories to tell when it comes to her, but those are her personal things, and I'm not gonna go, dive too deep into her personal life because it's personal. But yeah, for what I can tell you, that is that. So, I try and stay positive and try and be as happy as I can because I have a little boy to take care of that needs his mommy to be happy. And I just try to look at it like at least she's still here with us because we didn't think that she would be, even though it's in this situation and life is hard for her. Not being able to see her is hard for us and hard for her. And, even though we know it's for her protection and everybody else is in the facility, but it doesn't make it any easier, right? But yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let me know if you are enjoying the background. You can see there's like a blue, little bit of purple, green, little bit of red, and then the stars. Stars. I just think it adds to the relaxation. It looks really pretty, 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 really pretty. If you have not already, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment below. Let me know what videos you want to see from me next. And if you want to leave a little nice comment for my mom or my sister, I will definitely relay the messages. I think that would make them very happy. So yeah, thank you guys for being so caring